So, Lisa's time for Lisa's bad ending. No, we don't. Right. Just do new game. And we fast forward. No, I'll stay here. Wonder if I've done that before. Yeah, I have. Okay, I need to get 6 points. So, do nothing. It's 1 point. Let's keep silent. Let's go through everything. Go. Do all the things. Get the cards. Here we go. Bet with Elisa. Yes. That's 3 points. Skip the tutorial. Yes. Here we go. I don't think I have to go swimming with Elisa here. Instead, I can lose against Elisa. I'll follow Slavia just to do that once. Because we should be able to, like 4, 5, 6. So, lose against Elisa. We haven't done this. This is new. No, right there. I lost to Elisa. That's the most unfortunate. One can only guess what she will get up to tomorrow. She could embarrass me at the lineup if I don't oversleep, of course. She could complain to Olga. She could start rumors around the camp. The worst thing is that everyone will believe her, not me. I wasn't even sure why, but I was 100% sure about it. I left the canteen. Oh, fuck. Where did she go? Here. Follow Slavia. Bus stop. Oh, I've done that already, haven't I? I was like, a lot of these are just like the beaches, go swimming. That is badminton. The boathouse is like nothing. The Genda Square is nothing, and the infirmary is nothing. Stage is Juliana. Let's go to the bus stop. Maybe I did do this. Oh yeah, I did do that. Okay. Do I have to press no here? Do I have to press? do that. Oh, fuck, that was the wrong one. Okay, I'll come. I should go take a look. That's 4 points. 5 points. I guess I run away. Go to Alisa. And make up an excuse. That's 6 points. That is what we needed. Let's get 7 points, just to be sure. I wanted to get even with you, she said. She's meaning, all right, you lost the bet. Yeah, she says something different. She does the same revenge. It's just different depending on what you're doing. Wait, where am I? Oh, we have to do all of these things. Yeah. Maker. Just asking, we can't give her too many points. Don't ask about the bundle. Well, give it to her. There we go. That's 7. Go alone. Go right. Go right. Go right all the time. I wonder why it's lagging. And sometimes it's... Maybe it's always done that. It's just that I haven't played it this fast before. Alright, day 5. Wait, refuse is +1 for her. Interesting. Won't go with Lena. Right. Tried to snatch it. I tried to snatch the book. Ouch. Screamed. In the following second, her face took upon such an expression that it made me question my decision. If I'm about to die, at least I will know what for. I held up a copy of Gone with the Wind. That was the same book that Lena was reading that evening on the bench. I was so astonished that I had completely forgot about my imminent death. Is it interesting? Yeah, Lisa answered without any enthusiasm, blushing. Okay then. I handed the book back to her. Lisa threw it on the table and left the library quickly without looking at me. Oh, human things aren't alien to her. In the end, she's a girl too. After a quick review of everything that just happened, I concluded there was actually nothing that strange. Finally, Shannon's deep ground ran out. find out what they're arguing about. Everything happens the same way. Oh, we're getting drunk, are we? Here we go. But everything happened the same way up until this very point, where I just want to see, don't you? What? You'll have a chance to find Lena, that is what she said there. As if I need Lena, he says. Don't you? To be honest, Lena was the last person I was thinking about now. No. Then maybe it's me? I looked at Elisa attentively. She grinned spitefully. And she was weeping just recently. What about you? I evaded the question. What do you think about me? I don't know. Maybe you can just say it straight out. A long silence fell. Lisa is waiting for a straight answer, but I can't sort it out for myself. This pioneer camp, and now the girl who wants to hear something that I can't say that easily. You see, and then I really understood. Understood that now it's no use trying to be cunning and holding things back. I almost managed to break out of the cage. The worst is over. Or, on the contrary, the worst is yet to come. But it's time to speak plainly. You see, what you're expecting from me is almost impossible. Looks like everything is impossible for you, she sniffed. It's weird to say, but it's true. I don't know what will happen to me. Not even necessarily tomorrow, but in the next second. And what might it be? Will you vanish into thin air? Quite possibly. She burst into peals of laughter. You know, I was ready for any excuse, but not one like that. These aren't excuses. Just listen. Elisa gazed at me attentively, and it seemed had no intention of interrupting. You see, I don't belong in this place. I'm not talking about the camp, but about the whole world. All of you here are complete, strange, incomprehensible people to me. As you are for us, actually. I'm not even sure if you are from my planet or my reality. Quit it now, Lisa said tiredly. Imagine that once you fell asleep and woke up in a completely different place. And not just a place, but a different time as well. That is what happened to me. I used to live in the early 21st century in a city far away from here. I was somewhat older than I look now. I had my own life, regardless of whether it was good or bad, but it was my own. And then one night I took a bus, fell asleep, and woke up here. As a 17-year-old pioneer. Elisa looked at me in surprise. And you expect me to believe you? I don't know, it's up to you. It really wasn't easy for me to tell you that. You're a master storyteller, really? Just a second. I rummaged through my pockets and showed her my phone. To my great surprise, there was still some battery and the screen was glowing brightly. Have you ever seen something like this? Do you have something like it? I held it out to Elisa. She fidgeted with it, pressing buttons. Well, some kind of important foreign toy. So what? It's not a toy, it's a telephone. And where are the wires? Where's the handset? He laughed. There's no need for them. Unfortunately, I cannot demonstrate to you how it works because they are still not invented in your time. Yeah, sure, she said skeptically and handed me my phone back. I mean, you could show her exactly. The screen itself would look like magic, right? Well, magic is, but high-tech stuff. Anyway, it's your decision whether to believe me or not. I told you all this only to explain what position I'm in now. Still, I don't know what would happen to me in an hour. So such decisions. Fine, you don't have to say anymore. You don't have to make any decisions. She got up and pushed some more firewood over the fire. If I've offended you? Nah, everything's fine, she said coldly. I understand. You're a visitor from the future, so normal girls like me don't interest you. You got me wrong. No, I didn't. It's a very credible, logical, and above all, truthful tale. Any girl would dig it. So you still think I'm making up excuses? Alisa stayed silent. Or that I've gone completely mad. One could expect anything from you. Why do you have to be like this? I said sadly. And what about me? I've done nothing wrong. She grinned spitefully. Just imagine that is all true and you understand why I behave so. I already imagined, understood. I was about to say something else, but a horn sounded from the road. There was a bus on the roadside. Elias on the regular route. It's odd that we hadn't noticed its approach. At last, salvation. Shall we go? Alisa asked in a completely bland, emotionless voice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed my backpack. I can manage it by myself, she said. She took it from me. It's obvious that it was too heavy for her, but I didn't object. Soon we sat peacefully on the back seat of the bus. Various feelings fought inside of me. On one hand, I was glad beyond measure to get to the civilized world, but on the other, I was guilt-stricken by the unfinished conversation with Alisa. Oh, the bus driver gets an even smaller role in this timeline. Sorry that I acted so. You expected something different. I expected nothing from you, she replied coldly. I just wanted you to understand, and concerning our relationship, I really like you. Really. Glad to hear that. But her voice didn't sound so glad. I said it honestly. You see, I don't know what will happen next. But here and now, I guess that last night you liked me even more. No, you misunderstood. Should we do it again while the driver can't see us? Calm down for a second, okay? I didn't even think about that yet. What's the matter? You want it? And I don't care. It's the only thing I'm good for. Alisa, wait. Okay, I want to sleep. She reclined on her seat and closed her eyes. Wait a second. I'm sleeping. Let's talk later. I didn't object. After all, it's good to seek out counsel from your pillow. Besides, Alisa needs some time to calm down. Although, of course, I was desperate to explain everything to her in a way that she'd understand, but I held back. Still, I was sick at heart. We were alone in the bus. Outside, dark shadows were passing by. Sometimes it was possible to discern a tree, a river, or the pylons of a power transmission line. There we go. But the landscape seemed not to differ from the one in the camp. Maybe the world is a circle and we're just moving around it. Anyways, the surroundings were the least of my concerns now. I just stared at the floor and thought about tomorrow. What will happen? This city, this planet, this time, all are strange to me. and a further talk with Elisa, who was totally disappointed with me. The process of waiting happens to be more tiresome than its results. And finally, things bound to happen don't look so important or fearsome. All your strength is exhausted. There's just tiredness and emptiness in your soul. The boss was driving into the unknown. I couldn't resist and fell asleep. What happens now? Dave ... It seems I'm getting old. Oh, wait. It all happened the same thing. I glanced at the stage where I had been standing just an hour ago. Once again, joy, pleasure, and excitement gripped me. This won't be the last time I appear on that stage, for sure. And maybe even grander stages, like concert halls and Olympic stadiums, are in my future. Who knows? Anything is possible now. After saying goodbye to my mates, I ran to the bus stop and luckily caught the 410 bus. Nobody was inside. I took a seat behind the driver, just like back then. Some familiar tune could be heard from the radio. Maybe one day my songs will also be played on the radio. In some way, these trips were similar to the events that took place a year ago. I mean, at the moment, everything is as expected, achieved by means of hard work, and the planned result is fulfilled. But I am returning as another man. A man has changed in a way. So hardcore. Every story has its beginning. I mean, they called it this at least a bad end. I like this ending better than the other one. Like it was a learning experience for him. It was not about her showing up in the end. I like this better. Let's save. And we're doing another end. Yeah, lots of time. Yeah, there was so little difference. But I like that ending better. Sure, I'll come with you. So since we're time to get laid with a new woman here, so let's get the Slavia good ending. Let's run away. And to take it. Take the keys. Sure, let's take the keys. Silent. I think I've done this. Yep, I've done that already. Right, go get the cards with. Bet, don't bet, doesn't matter. Skip the tutorial. Let's use against Alisa. Wait, does this even matter? Let's use it against Alisa. And we go to the bus stop. And we will follow her. Oh. Here. I play Lena tonight. No. Oh, it's new. Oh, really? And what exactly are you going to be helping her with? It was turning out bad, but I decided to stand my ground. Her cabin, she asked me to clean it up. Sort out the things and so on. Bet you know what a mess the cabin is in. Sure, she asked you to tidy up her closet too? The nurse looked at me so intensely that Napoleon's fiasco at the Battle of Waterloo seemed now a small annoyance compared to my current flop. I was going to say something, but she continued to speak. Okay then, pioneer. We'll manage it without you. I apologize, but you see, I said and looked at Lena. She stood looking at the ground like before, blushing more and more. It's all right, I'll manage it on my own. Okay then. An awkward silence followed. I wanted to sink into the ground because of my lame lie that had probably offended Lena. Oh, goodbye then. Bye. The nurse was still smiling spitefully. I turned and walked away, almost running. Though in fact I really wanted to run, common sense advised me not to. Came back to my senses when I reached the square. There we go. No. Look for answers. There we go. Help Slavia. Here we go. And run away. Why would you come to a dance party if you'd rather sit tightly in the corner? Watch other people dance, I suppose? Being a voyeur? Okay, but just a little bit. That's the spirit. She reached out her hand to me. We were standing in the middle of the dancing crowd. Well, in fact, it was me who was standing. Slavia was warming up, swaying to the beat. I was already blaming myself for agreeing to this uncomfortable proposal. Okay, here I am on the road again. And now what? I examined the dancing pioneers around me. Nope, I am not prepared for this. The music stopped abruptly. Some people were still dancing under the momentum, but the majority stopped. Don't panic, says Olga. The leader went to the DJ's panel and adjusted something there. Next song, ladies and gentlemen. Right? I looked at Slavia. She stretched her hand out with a smile. You shouldn't refuse a girl. We danced for a few minutes. Her chest heaved faster and her face blushed more and more. Slavia stared into my eyes. I tried to look away at the dancing pioneers, or at my feet, or somewhere else. It was a strange feeling. My whole body shuddered from time to time, but it was a pleasant shudder without any hint of uneasiness or shame. My mind became miraculously calm. I realized that I didn't want to let this girl go, and I'm ready to dance with her forever. Hopping next to us, Uljana stopped for a moment and smirked. Maybe I was seeing things, but I couldn't get rid of the thought that that insolent girl is trying to hint at something. I made a frightening face, but she was already gone. Is something wrong? Slavia asked quietly. Everything's fine. I mean, everything's great. I hadn't started stammering yet, but I was about to. You're so tense. A little, I said honestly. Boys don't like to dance. I guess so. She didn't say anything, just smiled. The song eventually finished. I was holding Slavia, but she easily slipped out of my grasp. Thank you for the dance. I should thank you. I just stood and stared at her for some time. Next track started playing. One more? No, I think I'll rest a little. I tried to leave the square as soon as possible. I don't remember how I ended up on the beach. Why did I run away? It looked exactly like running away. The dance was nice and Slavia was pleased, but something wasn't right. I felt restless just thinking about the ball. Maybe I just lost grasp on the situation and got emotional. That happens rarely. I always try to behave and calmly assess the situation. But did I manage it this time? I sat on the sand looking at the river. The moon was hanging far above the water. Memories came over me. Oh? I am 6 years old. Me and my father are fishing. I cast my fishing rod clumsily and wait. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10. No fish bite. Meanwhile, my father gets one after the other. I asked him, how do you do that? He explains, but now I don't remember all the details. I am 9 years old, a dark, incomplete building near our country house, full of ghosts, vampires, or maybe just hobos. An unstable wooden ladder on the second floor hanging above the abyss, the hole to the basement. I'm scared, but I still climb up and down this ladder every day. A brick falls on my foot, and I lose a toenail. I'm 12 years old, my first victory in a video game tournament. We play a console fighting game. An imaginary audience applauds my astonishing victory. I am 15 years old. I score several wonderful goals with my heel, and a wonderful shot from 30 meters right into the upper corner. I'm 17 years old. My first love, transient images, shadows slipping away and vanishing in the city haze. I can't catch her among the buildings and corners. The following memories become more clear, but far less vivid. The images of my childhood and youth that I saw were unclear. They lacked details, and I couldn't quite see the faces of people. Sometimes they just looked a lot like a canvas covered with spilled paint. But the feelings of those hazy images were so much warmer than those of my recent memories. There we are, says Slavia. Slavia leaned over me. I didn't get a fright. Why did you leave so soon? I just felt like being alone for a little bit. It was like I hid in a shell. There was no outer world for me, and I responded the same way to all stimuli. I was like the three monkeys. Actually, I read somewhere that the three monkeys have completely different and pretty much the opposite meanings in English. And where does it come from? Japan? Like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I don't know, I don't remember my sources, but what I heard was that don't listen to any evil, don't look at the evil, and don't speak the evil, because you propagate the evil, right? You propagate the bad. It's like the original meaning, I think. I think that is what it was. But like in modern Western cultures, it's more like being blind to all the evil, and that lets it go on. Like the evil of the passive person. You know, seeing like evil happening in front of me and I just ignore it. Two different interpretations of the three monkeys. Yeah, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Isn't it just beautiful here, said Slavia, and looked at the river. It doesn't look like a river. It hasn't looked like a river in any of the paintings. Yeah, it is. How about one more dance? No thanks, I'm fine. Deep inside I knew I shouldn't be so sharp with Slavia, but I was like a puppet on the string, forced to say things I would never have said under other circumstances. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You can't think about nothing. She pouted her lips, but smiled right after that, letting me know that she wasn't offended. Oh my god, she's too good for us. I mean, so far everything she has done has been like too perfect. She's like understanding everything and accepting everything. It feels unreal. You're always thinking about something, even if you don't notice it. Maybe. So, what are you thinking about now? About owls. I said the first thing that came to my mind. Why owls? She laughed. I don't know. Have you ever seen any owls? Of course I have. What a silly question. It's silly? I mean, I have seen owls, but it's rare. I've seen them at the zoo and stuff like that, but like out in the real world, it's very rare. I haven't seen one in years, I don't think. But on the other hand, I'm not really much of a bird watcher. I haven't looked for them. Heard them, I suppose. Do you like them? Asked Slavia. You're just a bird like any other. You're good looking. I like the look of owls. They look cool. A night bird, Slavia specified. Yes, a night bird. A night bird. I imagined an owl, a little feathered box with huge blinking eyes. Are you a night owl? Nice. I mean, she's way too good. What? You know, there are daylarks and night owls. Oh, I didn't know they were called daylarks. I'm gonna forget that again. Some like to get up early and some like to sleep in. Like the quiet. Her words brought me back to reality. I'm sorry. I pictured my dusty room full of junk, a mountain of unwashed plates on the table, guitar rotting in the corner, a necktie hanging from the lamp. And the pinnacle of all this, the heap of dirty socks under the bed. I was indeed a night owl. Night was my time. But somehow I was managing to get up early in this camp. I know. So what are you? Night owl, I guess. I like to sleep. And I am a daylark. Doesn't surprise me. The earlier you get up, the more you can do during the day. There is really nothing urgent for me to do, so I don't see any difference between day and night. Oh man, I mean, you can do stuff during the night as well, but like the nighttime is more passive. That is one reason I like the nighttime more. It is passive. I can be passive. I enjoy being passive. I wonder if it really is like that. Is it all about day and night people? Is it just if they like to be passive or active? I mean, if video games counts as being passive, I don't know, reading book, is that a passive thing? Or is it an active thing? Like the binary switch between activities becomes difficult to make, being doing stuff or not doing stuff. It's not so simple, I don't think. It's just quieter and calmer during the night. Yeah, he has a point. Flavia, don't you have any problems at all in your life? What do you mean? She wondered. You are always so joyful, so ready to help, so eager to start doing something. It is like nothing can upset you. Why? She laughed. I'm just an ordinary person. Oh. That's right. Just an ordinary person in an ordinary place. I sometimes think that I am the strange one here. Don't you like the camp? I don't mean only the camp. In the previous, I stumbled. I shouldn't speak so frankly, even with her. Why not? At home, too. I think that I'm not like the others. It's not where I belong. No, stop that. It's silly to think so. Wait, let me get that one more time. At home, too, I think that I'm not like the others. It's not where I belong. I can relate to that. It's like being an outsider, right? A lot of outsiders can relate to that. I mean, we're not outsiders by choice, right? Human being is a what's it called? We're an herd animal, right? We live in herds. We live in groups. Nobody chooses to be standing on the outside. It's like we don't really fit in the norm, like what most other people do. I think we've talked about this before. And therefore so one could argue that society is, well, Slavia and society is made in such a way that she probably is quite normal because she fits in and enjoys the day and enjoys doing stuff because it just fits. Well, he is, I mean, similar to me, like an outcast that doesn't fit in. So that's actually the first thing that I think I've heard her say where she is being mean, like this is exclusionary. It's silly to think so, she says, calling him silly for feeling excluded from life. That's not what you should tell someone who's depressed. I was closing myself off from the rest of the world just a moment ago, and now I was opening my heart to this girl, and she just spits on it. What's happening to me? Well, no, she isn't. She didn't mean to be exclusionary, just that she's ignorant of it, right? She can't relate, and therefore she thinks it's silly. We talked about this the other day, like, I think Banana Waffle Monkey said that Reagan grew up in the 20s, and he said, yeah, I've seen no race issues, because he hasn't seen them, right? He's not taking part of them, just like she hasn't seen his issues. No, really, you wouldn't pay any attention to me under any other circumstances. I am so different to you. I am lazy, unsociable, and I have no outstanding talents. I would be the last person you would notice in a crowd of a large city, though for me, even going outside is rare. I mean, obviously he has sex appeal, he's good looking, since all the women are swooning over him, right? Simeon, you scare me. He looked at me seriously. I got embarrassed, but I didn't avert my eyes. Am I wrong? Of course. You are you. There is no other person like you. You should just have some self-esteem and patience, and you can do anything. No doubt about it. Positivity. I looked at the sky. If only everything could be as simple as you say. Yeah, you can't do anything. That's not how the world works. It's not difficult at all. Let's start right now. Start what? Changing. Just like that? How do you imagine we do that? We should do something useful. For instance, well, she thought for a moment. Let's clean up the square in the middle of the night. The ball has already finished. Just the two of us. Would we be able to do all the work? There isn't that much to do. The first step is the most important one. Can't argue with her on that point, but taking down the lightning from the trees in the dark, moving heavy audio equipment and sweeping. None of that was on my to-do list. But I didn't know how to nicely refuse her. Maybe we can do it tomorrow with everyone? Why put it off until tomorrow? Wouldn't it be wonderful to stand in a clean square during the lineup? Yeah, I'm with him here. First of all, I don't even like lineups in general. Secondly, I don't really care about the cleanliness that much. But I kind of enjoy, not filth, but I remember in Sweden Rock Festival, when we've been to the festival, I kind of enjoy the day after, the Sunday, when we've been drinking and partying for 3 or 4 days or something like that. Too old for partying that much nowadays, but still, that day after on Sunday, when everybody's just packing their stuff up and leaving, like all the stuff I enjoy. Like not the filth, but all the stuff, like the audio equipment and all that, just being in that space. I kind of like that. Hey, I understand you, but this is too much, Flavia thought for a moment. Yes, looks like you're right. Even I can be right sometimes. He can be wrong. Then he stretched and yawned. Let's just sleep on it then. A nice idea, but I wanted to talk more. Isn't it too early? No. Slavia objected critically. Yeah, she's a day person. He's a night person. Of course. We'll sleep all day tomorrow then. Yeah. Tell me a bedtime story then. I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. I know only the ones I read in books. You must know them too. Maybe I do. What a failure. Here we go. She stretched out her hand to me. I'll stay here for a while longer. I need some fresh air. You can go. Good night. Good night. Slavia ran away. I wanted to enjoy my total defeat first. I couldn't stand being with her even a minute longer after that brilliant idea. Bedtime stories? What in the world? That's how the things are. You try to have a casual chat with a girl and it turns into a complete flop. Well, that wasn't a flop. There were other things that were flopping about, I suppose, but that wasn't it. In my opinion. I stared into the night sky. The stars, those small lights of distant suns, blinked perkily, as if laughing at me. I turned over and buried my face in the sand. After a moment I realized that was another one of my bright ideas, about on par with asking for a bedtime story. I stood up, spitting grit, and went to the leader's cabin. My back itched all the way. Not only my back, my whole body. No wonder I haven't had a bath for several days. Well, it is really hot here during the daytime, so you sweat like a pig. I should find some soap and a towel. Oh? Can't find everything. I can't find everything in Olga's cabin. After a couple of minutes, I was again at the square with my bag of bathing accessories. I have to find a bathhouse now. It was easy, the building was just on the edge of the forest. It really is the best place for a bathhouse. I think there was no Blair Witch inside, but the lights were still on. And whose bright idea is it to have a bath at midnight? I muttered below my breath. Well, you are. There's only one problem. Is it a boy or a girl? In the first case, we could just have a bath together without any worries. I'm not fond of public baths, but I can cope with them this time. I'm not fond of them either. In the second case, I would have to wait or scratch myself the whole night through. Who knows how long I must wait? I peeped into the window, but I couldn't see anything because of the steam. Suddenly, Slavia appeared right before me, as if from a thick fog. Naturally, she was naked, just like anyone else in the bath would be. Dumbstruck, I stared at her. I had never seen a naked girl so close, even through glass. Oh, oh my God. I thought he was talking about girlfriends earlier, but I guess not. Look at that. Did not know that about him. My organ reacted as it should. Nerve impulses traveled from my eyes down my body. It seemed like I couldn't leave my observation point no matter what, even if a war broke out. Slavia did not notice me. She was washing herself leisurely, rinsing her head, rubbing her body with a sponge, and pouring water from the bucket onto herself. Then she started to wash her hair. I can't imagine how much time she needs to wash it completely, but minutes flew like seconds. That's how immersed I was at the sight. Pervert! Get some control over yourself, dude. Finally, she finished washing, sighed with satisfaction, and walked to the door. I managed to come to my senses just at the moment she went into the changing room and left to hide in the nearby bushes. The best thing to do was not to tempt fate and leave, but I realized that too late. Slavia appeared on the porch just after a moment, stood there for a while, enjoying the night breeze, and walked in the direction of my hideout. That's weird. She said she's a day person, but this is like the second time we caught her doing stuff at night on her own. She was dancing the other night. Just went out to the woods and danced around. I had a dozen excuses in my mind, but she went by without even looking at the bushes I was hiding in. Looks like I'm lucky. Cautiously, I got out and went to Olga's cabin. Oh, completely forgetting my intention to having a bath. I was totally exhausted and just wanted to fall in bed and doze off. My eyes couldn't wait and were closing from time to time. Oh, even here. It was dangerous to blink. Don't blink. Never blink. Don't blink. Not even for a second. best episode. I still didn't know the camp well enough to walk there with my eyes closed. Suddenly, Slavia appeared before me. Are you going to sleep? Well, yes. Right at this moment, I remembered the sight in the bathhouse and I started to avert my eyes shyly. And you? I'm cleaning up. She took the broom out from behind her neck. From her back. Sorry. Slavia with a broom in the empty square at night looked like a witch from a children's fairy tale. What? Nothing. Is it really a good idea to clean up the square after a bath? My God. Well, and how do you know that I had a bath? I physically felt the fear taking over my body. Cold sweat started to run down my back. My thoughts froze. I couldn't think of any excuses. Slavia stared at me in surprise. It looked like my life depended on this answer. Well, your hair is wet. Oh, you're right. I wanted the earth to swallow me up so I could vanish from this world just as suddenly and irreversibly as I had vanished from mine. Are you going to have a bath too? Me, well, Slavia looked at the bag in my hands. Well, yes, I am. So, good night. I turned around and darted back towards the bathhouse. What a disaster. How shameful. I walked slowly, trying to curse myself for all that had happened. I shouldn't have peeped in the first place. Colgate in on tap shows up and says smooth. It went better than it could have. Yeah, it could have had his comeuppance. Had her being pissed off at him for being a dick. Well, oh, that's where that comes from. Being a dick. That type of behavior. It's when all your blood leaves your brain. Right? And then you behave like a dick. So, that actually brings up an interesting question. Should you blame someone for being a dick? I mean, you can't control yourself, right? No, well, I don't like blaming at all, but I would also say that you can control yourself. I mean, it's not that difficult with a bit of practice and what's that word? Oh man, I forget. Upbringing, like teaching. But if I peep anyway, then I must pay more attention and think of an excuse beforehand. Oh, it didn't take much time to wash myself. It looked like the night made its own ball, or possibly a concert. The stars were the lights, the birds and the insects were an orchestra, an owl hooting somewhere was its director. The sound of wind in the trees was the applause of the audience. Nice. The night looked much more beautiful when you stand in the forest clean and fresh. Can agree with that. Suddenly I heard a noise in the bushes nearby. I shivered, but I didn't get very scared. Oh, please be Slavia. It may be a squirrel or an animal. Nevertheless, I should check it out. I went to the bushes, but I didn't find anything or anyone suspicious. It just seemed with a clean body and a calm spirit, I went to the leader's cabin. Would have been so fun if we found her there, eye for an eye. Missed opportunity. Olga was already asleep. Oh, I went to bed without taking my clothes off. Couldn't fall asleep for a long time, remembering naked Slavia, whose image could not be eclipsed by thoughts about finding answers. Day 4. hellish ringing inside his head. I was going to head to breakfast when somebody knocked on the door. It was Slavia. Good morning. Have you seen Olga? I stared at her breasts. They had just mesmerized me too much the day before. Semyon? Slavia was looking at me worryingly, but I still couldn't manage to shift my gaze away from her breasts. Is something wrong? On the contrary, everything is just... Olga? I don't know. She wasn't here when I woke up. I finally managed to control myself. Fine, I still have one thing to do, so see you at breakfast. Slavia smiled, waved at me, and ran away. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The sun was... And here we go. Where are we at? Oh, we're looking for him now, are we? No, wait. Ah, here we are. Search for her. I was so inspired, so I decided to search somewhere else. Asking. Food poisoning. Do not ask about the bottle. Do not give her the activated carbon. Do not eat an apple. And we go alone. And we go right, go right, go right. Skip that, and we go right. We need to go right. Let's skip through that. Oh, an ending shows up here otherwise. Interesting. I mean, I guess refuse. I'm surprised that's +1, but... And we go with Slavia. Of course we go with Slavia. Giving her a good ending. And thanks to the girls' help. You know? And we do nothing. Let's do nothing. Let's just stay seated. What do? I try to find Slavia. There we go. Slavia's route. Perfect. I'm really interested in where Slavia has gone. Perfect. And here we save the game. There we go.